So I'm out on the road today, and I thought I would share with you my EDC radio. And by the way, that you really don't want to get tangled up in. Leaves 3, leaf B. That is poison oak. Stuff is starting to grow. It's that time of year again. So anyway, this is a Kenwood TK280 VHF. Now, this is a commercial radio, and it was sold to businesses and railroad companies and public service agencies all over the U.S. and probably Canada and some other places too. And the TK280 is the VHF version. There's also a TK380, which is UHF. And I've got a pile of these and a pile of the 380s also. And the 380 is a good thing, you know, because it covers the 70 centimeter FM portion of or at least the US FM portion of the 70 centimeter ham band. Some other countries have 10 megahertz lower 70 centimeter band, and the 380 won't go down that far. It'll only go down to maybe a little bit less than 440, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Anyway, I know that it covers 440 with no problem, so that's a good thing. And of course it covers GMRS perfectly, and also FRS, and all good things. But for an everyday carry radio, I've decided that the VHF version is more user friendly, or more utilitarian, because there are more 2-meter repeaters, and this covers 2 meters extremely well. And there are far more 2-meter repeaters than 70 centimeter repeaters. And also, what 2-meter repeaters there are tend to get a lot more activity than the 70 centimeter repeaters. So, like in the city, you know, there might be a dozen or more 70 centimeter repeaters, but there'll be at least double that many 2-meter repeaters. And out here in the boonies, though, we might not be within 50 miles of a 70 centimeter repeater, but right here I'm probably within range of at least a couple of 2-meter repeaters. You know, I might have to go up on the ridge or something to reach one of them, but I'm rarely out of range of a 2-meter repeater out here. So I've got 2 meters in that bank. In this bank, I have MURS, multi-use radio service. I'm at a different spot now because my phone shut down a couple of times, and I had to move anyway. So we're sitting here by the river. That's a pretty good place to show some of the other frequencies I have in here. Now, I mentioned MURS, which is 5 license-free VHF channels taken from the old VHF business band. And that green light flashing means that there's some activity on one of them, but I have PL tones set, so that's why it's not opening the squelch on those, because they're not on the right PL tone. So anyway, that is, like I said, license free, so you can communicate between two or more of them without having to have a ham radio license or, any other sort of license. Okay, now the next bank, that's the Marine VHF band, and I have that set for also transmit and receive, because these radios are actually type accepted for Marine VHF, and you're not supposed to use it on land, but if I'm down here at the river as I am right now, then I can use it if I need to talk to a boat out there or whatever. Or if I'm on a boat and I need to talk to, a bridge or bridge control or whatever. Alright, next bank, also VHF, of course, is Railroad. And there's a rail yard near here as well, so that's an interesting thing to listen to. Now I've got that set for receive only, because I don't want to inadvertently transmit on that, because I can't do so legally. And this particular radio, like I said, I've got a few of these, and this one is interesting. That was Railroad, by the way. This is interesting because it says Tomball Fire Department, and that's who originally owned this radio. And a lot of these radios have been surplused out from fire departments, railroads, businesses, and so on. And I've actually paid less for these than you would pay for a Baofeng, and it's a much better radio. Pretty much everything you need is available for it. You can get antennas cheap, new batteries, entire, casing, replacement casing and buttons and everything. Pretty much anything you need to replace on one of these is readily available. And I think the cheapest I ever paid for one of these was $8, I think. But most of them, and I have several of them, and I gave $10 or $12 each for most of them. And overall, so anyway, with all that, and one more thing, I've got one more bank in here.
Then becoming mostly cloudy. Lows in the mid.
And that is the, let's put it back on Marine. Anyway, that's the weather band, weather frequencies. Also receive only, of course. And that's a lot of utility that you can't get with the UHF radio. So for that reason, VHF is my everyday carry radio. And I know Baofeng UV5Rs and UV82s are dual band, but these are such a more robust radio, both in terms of the receiver in them and also just physical ruggedness. And I've never been a huge fan of dual band radios anyway. And most of the time, if I'm just going to carry one, if I'm just going out for the day like this, I just carry VHF. And if I feel like I will need UHF, I grab one of my TK380s and bring it along as well. And so there it is. That is my everyday carry radio. That's the one I usually bring with me.